of course. But I think a big thing about it is that sometimes chiropractic care isn't the end all be all. There's some other things that you can do that help make that chiropractic care work even better for you. And you mentioned nutrition might be one of those things. Can you talk to us how nutrition relates to good chiropractic care?
Sure. In our office, we like to not only assess people's spines, but assess their lifestyle as well. A lot of people, as you well know, don't pay attention much to what they eat or how they eat or when they eat. And even though there's a lot of people out there that try to have a lifestyle that they're doing a lot of exercise, they're going to the Y, but if they're not supporting their bodies nutritionally in a way that makes sense, even with chiropractic care, there's going to be some issues happen that need to be addressed.
All right, and what are some of the things when people come into your office and they're getting their adjustments and stuff, and you kind of ask them some of these nutritional questions, I should say. What are some of the most common problems that you hear from patients, and you kind of have to catch yourself and go, okay, I think we have the problem here. You got to quit doing this, this, and this. What are some of the top things that you've heard?
One in particular, when I'm examining someone's spine and I see nerve pressure at a certain level, due to the fact that certain nerves innervate certain things, if you have like an indigestion problem, like every night you're moaning and groaning, you're up walking the hall because you're having what they call heartburn or whatever, that would make me think you not only have nerve pressure that's causing your stomach not to be able to secrete acid like it's supposed to, but if you're, say, past 35 years of age, to me you need digestive enzymes on a daily basis every time you eat, because as we get older we don't secrete the acid to break down our food like we used to. And so as we get older we don't get away with eating 5 pieces of pizza before we go to bed, because you wake up at 2 o'clock having all this burning sensation going on in your gut. So we just try to gently get people to see that if they change some of the things they do in their life, it can make their life better. So between the adjustments and taking some supplements like enzymes or whatever to break down their food, that one particular situation could be rectified pretty easily, really. Another thing we see quite a bit of is like headaches. And to me that just speaks of toxicity in the system a lot of times. It's not only a nerve pressure problem, but a lot of people think a headache on a daily basis is normal for most people, and headaches aren't normal. And in a case like that, we try to get people on a basic supplement, which is called Catalin. It's a standard process supplement, but it's like a foundational multivitamin. And then get them taking some fish oil, some omega-3 fatty acid, things that are very good for your brain, very good for your heart, just good all-around things for people to take. And then we interject maybe some calcium, magnesium, help their muscles work better, help their bodies just function better, because a lot of people are kind of subclinically malnourished and they don't even really know it.
And you kind of went into some of those supplements that you would recommend to people. When you see some of these nutritional problems, I know last week we talked about adjustments for kids.
Right.
You obviously do it for adults of all ages. When you see some of these nutritional problems where you think you can make the best benefit for people visiting you, what's kind of that age range where, chiropractic care, and then you definitely say, okay, this supplement can even make this work even better for you?
Well, we have a couple of chewable supplements for children, plus we have a vitamin C liquid. So to me, if a child's, say, 2.5, and they're to that age where maybe they'll chew this up and they don't think it tastes funny or whatever, or I get the mom to maybe powder the tablets between 2 spoons and mix it into their yogurt or whatever. But to me, some kids just need, in particular, for their immune system. Some kids get this chronic cough, respiratory thing, ear infection. They don't have good bowel movements. Just generally they're not very healthy, and I try to get them to take a chewable multi for a child, plus another product that we call Conjuplex that stimulates their immune system on kind of a daily basis.
Okay. Is there an age group that you find yourself that you're recommending these supplements more? I know we kind of went into indigestion. Well, that's more of a, in theory at least, it's more of a elder kind of situation for some people. Is it mid-30s to 40s? What's the range where you kind of definitely start recommending supplements to kind of help people along?
Well, I think there's a correlation between age and what types of medication maybe these people are on when they come to my office. There's definitely some research out there that indicates that some medications cause some things in your body to get depleted, whether people want to admit it or not. But I'd say, once people get past 30, 35, and they're maybe more sluggish than they want to be, and even though they're working out and they're trying to be pretty mindful of what they eat, there's still some nutritional things that could definitely benefit them if they're willing to talk about it. Now, see, the thing we run into a lot of times is you might come into my office and I maybe mention a few things to you about nutrition, and if I can see your eyes glass over when I say that, that tells me right away that you're not that interested in it, And that's unfortunate, because a lot of people think they have their diet down, and this is what I do, and this is how I eat, and I'm doing okay. But in all reality, anybody could use some help and guidance in that realm there.
If you were to suggest one or two things to people that come into your office to change right then and there, or maybe phase it in over the course of time, where are some of those nutritional changes outside of supplements that you would recommend to patients?
Well, in the last couple of decades, this low-fat diet thing's been pushed down everybody's throat. In all reality, our whole society's been brainwashed into it. And where has it led? It's led to people being obese. It's led to diabetes. It's led to a lot of things. And the reason is our bodies need good oils. There's good fat out there that our bodies need. And in the midst of the fat scare, people have stopped eating oils and fats. So there's just a wide range of things that outside of chiropractic and outside of nutrition that people just need to pay attention to. Reading some things that are not biased the one way, but understand there's things on the other side of the fence that maybe do make a lot of sense when it comes to nutrition. And nutrition is a very important part of how our bodies function. We need to feed our bodies accordingly. And unfortunately, the food chain in our country is tainted with preservatives and colors and things like that, and a lot of people don't pay attention to that. So a good thing for people to do is pay attention to more organic food, try to cut back on your white flours and your sugars, things like that. And just some basic, I'm not going to eat white bread anymore, start eating more whole grain bread, or just basic, I'm not going to use white sugar anymore, I'm going to use honey or something as a sweetener.
Okay, and it kind of goes into this as well. Are you familiar with paleo diets? They're the kind of special diet that definitely, I know I have friends that do weightlifting, CrossFit, and the basic idea was you don't put stuff in your body that wasn't around when cavemen were around. So that kind of goes the organic route. Lots of protein through meat, preservatives. Get out of here. Gluten free. Definitely in there as well, because like you said, not a whole lot of white flour back in the Stone Age. Right. Does that kind of correlate with what you would be talking about as well?
Sure. In mentioning diets, and it always reminds me of my grandparents. My grandparents used to eat lard, eat the bacon and eggs, and a lot of the things that we've been told are bad for us. In all reality, our bodies need animal protein. God created us in a way that those things are used in chemical processes in our body. So for people to go vegan in particular, eventually I think they're going to pay the price for it. They might lose some weight and they might feel better about what they're eating, but whole milk and some animal products is good if you pay attention to what you're doing with them. So you get your fishes and your beef and some lamb and whatever you might want to use as a meat source. It's just wise to not believe that everybody's got the right answers, but really check into and do your own research and see what makes you feel better, and get the facts about animal protein compared to not eating it and things like that.